기분이 좋아 베이스 들어오고 원예가 Okay, hello boys and girls. Welcome to my New York Hahn Dae Soo. Today we have a special place that we're having this podcast. It's the famed La Mama Theater. Today we're in for a great treat. We have a special guest, Mr. Bill Roden. He's the former journalist and a columnist for the famed New York Times. And right now, he's a columnist for ESPN. Mr. Bill Roden, welcome to my New York, and this is your New York.
Yeah, thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. And I'm with ESPN's The Undefeated.
I heard about that.
It's a great.
Yes.
It's actually a great new website. Mm-hmm. It came online in May.
Oh wow!
And so we've been producing a lot of great work, and it was very exciting. You know, I was at the New York Times for 35 years.
Oh yes,
it's a long
that was
time.
a long time.
But right. It's great though at my stage to get into something else that's equally as exciting. Right. Something that's new and also is actually some more liberating. I've been able to. I used to be a jazz critic at the Baltimore Sun.
Right.
And I always wanted to get back to it. So now I'm going to be able to combine forms, not writing about the style of sport, but also music and jazz and that kind of stuff. So just to let you know.
Okay, Bill. You know, I was studying about you, the man. Now, you were into sports a lot. Actually, you were a player, football player, basketball. You played all the time. As a sportsman, how did you get into jazz and music?
Yeah, I grew up with it. My father was a mathematician. He taught high school in Chicago, but from the time he was in college in the Navy, he was a musician. He was a pianist. He was an alto saxophone player. He arranged. He composed, and so I kind of grew up in the music. I remember maybe the first, and he was also classically trained. In fact, my youngest brother, Gerard, is a tenor. He lives in Germany. He's been in Germany for 22 years, singing tenor and all. So our family was very. My oldest sister was a TV producer, but she sang. So we were really surrounded by the music. Wow. And I love the music. And I started playing. Stomping at the Savoy. It follows me everywhere.
They love the jazz.
They love the jazz. It's all around, you know.
Last year, Bill, I was able to go to Corona, Queens, of all places. Why? My man lived there. This is the man who really got me into jazz and, made it so enjoyable for me, Satchmo. How is he considered in jazz? Is he not the father of jazz?
Well, probably the godfather.
Godfather.
Of jazz. Probably the godfather of the music. I mean, there are a lot of, but I mean, Louis Armstrong, for so many reasons, was the epitome. What jazz means. Ultra American.
Wow.
He was really the first great recognized jazz musician. I mean, if you listen to a lot of his music, what he was playing back then, it was just amazing. I mean, you listen to what he was playing, and then you listen to everybody else.
Right.
And again, it was, and Wynton Marsalis and I talked about that. He was a generational musician. You could put him in any generation, and he was miles ahead. We'll talk about Miles later.
But
he was miles ahead of whoever was second.
Right.
And again, it's not like sports where
Right.
there's a competition.
Right.
But what he did on the show, and then also he became a personality, and then even his vocal style.
Right. Oh,
Even his
wonderful. I
vocal
love
style,
it.
Yeah, his vocal style. I think his vocal style really influenced a lot of the scat singing. I mean, nobody was doing that.
Nobody can do better than him.
Yeah.
Him and Ella together. Oh my God.
We talk about Louis Armstrong. I understand that you got a voice kind of like Louis Armstrong. You're going to sing something.
I hear that all the time. Everybody in Korea, every time I have a concert, they say, wow, you sound just like Satchmo.
What are you going to sing?
You know, obviously, what a wonderful word it is.
Great.
You know, every day counts, my friend. When you're as old as me, I wake up, I say to myself, thank you, Lord. Today's the best day. It's a wonderful word. I'll sing with my band.
Oh, great.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of a rainbow are so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? But they're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah, baby. Yes, that was actually not Satchmo. It was
Really?
me.
Oh, really? That was great. Oh, God, you sound
Thank
just like
you.
Satchmo. I
Just
thought
like
you should have
Satchmo.
been Satchmo.
I wish I could have met him. What a
Oh,
wonderful
my God,
guy.
that was great, though.
Thank
Wow,
you, sir.
Great, great, great.
Now, you know, I was lucky enough, Bill, to see one of the last concerts of the Myers, Myers Davis. I believe it was in Avery Fisher Hall in Lincoln Center around 1989, a couple of years before he died. And I was so shocked. Two things. First of all, here's Myers come. Everybody says, even my friends, they don't call him Davis. Myers, Myers, Myers. They're all screaming, right? And here he comes on stage for 2 hours. He would not face the audience. He's showing his back and just once in a while going like this. In other words, what he's saying is, you are not worthy. I don't think I am God. I am God.
Well, Miles was consistent.
You know what I mean? And then another thing was, you know, as you know, Miles goes through a lot of phases. That time in the late 80s, he was into acid jazz. And his guitar player sounded like Jimi Hendrix on jazz. very hard driving jazz. Well, talk to us about Miles to all the boys and girls.
Well,
Because
boys and girls,
boys and
don't-
girls,
don't do acid. Too
don't
late.
do THC either. It's bad for the semen. Not good, not good.
Okay. So, but, you know, I only spoke to Miles once.
Oh, okay.
Once, and I was interviewing, there was a big fight. There was a Roberto Duran fight. Roberto Duran was fighting Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right.
And it was a big fight. And Miles, you know, was a huge boxing fan.
I know, I heard about
He was
it.
a big
Yes.
boxing fan, he was a big fight fan. And I was calling different people. I said, I wonder what Miles thinks about the fight.
Right.
And it turns out he was in a hospital in New York for back surgery.
Oh, wow.
And so, for some reason, Jackie McLean, somebody gave me his phone number, gave me the hospital's phone
Right.
number. And I had never spoke to him. I said, man. And so I called the hospital room. I'm thinking, is this really going to happen? So then somebody picked up and said, hello.
I know.
And I said, oh, my God.
That's his voice.
It's Miles.
Yeah, that's how he talks.
Hello.
Thank you very much.
And again, as a journalist, one of the things we do is get access.
Right,
but
right.
the lesson you learn is, well, what do you do with the access?
Exactly.
So you want to get Miles.
Right.
Now, once you get Miles,
Right.
what are you going to do?
Right.
And so I had to kind of recover from the shock that he was on the phone, and then as soon as I told him that I was doing something about Duran and Leonard, he really got engaged.
Wow.
He wanted to talk about the fight. We thought, and then at the very end of it, I said, well, I think Leonard's going to win. He said, well, let's make a bet. So I said, well, what's the bet? He said, let's bet let's bet some Coke.
Yeah.
And he said, Coca-Cola. And he laughed and hung up. And this way he said, let's bet some Coke. Coca-Cola.
Hey, pal.
That was my Miles Davis conversation.
That was great. Okay, Bill, you know, when you talk about Myers, you know, all the fans say, I got to hear this one. My Funny Valentine.
It's gorgeous. I mean, it's just a wonderful rendition. Of course, if you ask him to play it somewhere, he'd probably throw the trumpet at you.
Right.
But it's just one of my favorite Miles Davis tunes.
that was fantastic. I'm wondering, Bill, Miles did not live that long. In the mid-60s, he died. What would be the reason, you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, Miles had a hard physical life too.
Oh, okay.
There was the drug addiction,
Okay.
the heroin addiction. He lived a hard life, and your body can only take so much.
And, you know, too many gorgeous ladies. What do you think?
I don't know if that's ever the cause of death.
No, that should have given him longevity, actually, right?
I think it was more. I think it was more the heroin.
Oh, okay.
And then just the lifestyle that those guys were forced to lead too. You know, in the clubs, the smoke-filled clubs. It's funny you mentioned 60 during one of the breaks. We were talking about age.
Right.
And you know, when he died or something, he said, oh, he was 60. Oh man, with old guy. Then you get to be 60.
Right.
Yikes! he's just a baby.
Right.
You know.
Now, another person we have to talk about, also very, very important, one of the pillars, Chick Corea. All right. I was also fortunate to see him in Seoul, Korea. He came about 3 years ago in a big auditorium called Ewha Women's University. It's the biggest women's university in Asia. You know, incredible campus. And the reason was that I'm not really into piano that much. So I said, maybe I should go or maybe I shouldn't. But then who was playing the guitar? John McLaughlin. Oh, wow. Oh, I gotta go, you know, I gotta see this guy. And I went with my friends. I called up everybody. Here's Chick Corea. It was packed, jam-packed house, about 6,000-7,000 people. Comes out on stage before the set. He says, "My people, I have finally come back to Korea." He cracked us all up. It was so funny. So tell us about Chick Corea. What is his importance in the
well, you know, it's funny. We were just talking about Miles, and really, Chick Corea picked up the whole electronic, phase of the music. I think the first album I had by Chick Corea was "Now He Sings, Now He Sobs," which is his first album, but it's all acoustic. No, I met Chick maybe 4 months ago. He was playing at the Blue Note.
Oh yes.
And he was going to play the national anthem.
Oh yes.
At Giant Stadium.
Right. You were there.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, and I thought that would be interesting to.
How did that go with instrumentation only? Instrumenters.
It was beautiful. I mean,
was there a voice?
No, just him. Just him.
Him on the piano.
Yeah,
wow.
And the sound was a little distorted. I heard what I heard was beautiful.
Wow.
I think somewhere in the stadium, there may have been a distortion, but he played a wonderful. I mean, some people could YouTube it. It was really a very nice version. But it was interesting because that was sort of political, because that was the time a lot of athletes were kneeling at the national anthem. They were protesting, and we had an interesting conversation about him and playing the national anthem and the country and things like that. So that was one of my first or second pieces for the Undefeated. Was Chick Corea. So read that. Go back, read the Undefeated.
Wow.
But it was really nice guy, very personable guy, very open.
Well, Bill, if we're talking about Chick Corea, we gotta hear this song. Spain, yes. I love Spain, the country itself also. And this will be performed by a very nice Korean singer, Miss Hae Jung Kang.
Yesterday, just a photograph of yesterday, and all its edges folded and the corners faded sepia brown, and yet it's all I have of our past love, a postscript to its ending. Brighter days, I can see such brighter days, when every song we sang is sung again. Now we know it's time, it's for good lovers once again. And you're near me. I can remember the rain in December, the leaves so brown on the ground. And say I did love and adore you. The night filled with joy were our yesterday, and the nights were the heat of yearning. I can recall my desire, every reverie is on fire, and I get a picture of all my yesterday. Yesterday I can say I get a kick every time they play this rain again. I can remember the rain in December, the leaves so brown on the ground. Our love was a Spanish fiesta. The bright lights and sounds were our joyous day, and the nights were the heat of yearning. I can recall my desire, every reverie is on fire, and I get a picture of all my yesterday. Yesterday I can say I get a kick every time to play this rain again. I see moments of history. Your eyes be mine, and they dance with a melody, and we'll live again as if dreaming. The sounds of our heartbeats like instruments, and forever in love their meaning. I can recall my desire, every reverie is on fire, and I get a picture of all my yesterday. Yesterday I can say I get a kick every time they play this rain again.
Mr. Bill Roden, thank you so much for coming by.
Pleasure
You
was
have
mine.
made the entire My New York audience all over the world
Wake
very
up,
happy.
everybody.
Very, very happy.
It's a
I know
pleasure,
we're
man.
talking about these wonderful artists. We could go on forever. And undefeated, I wish you lots of luck with ESPN program. All of us will tune in. And it's such an honor to see you today.
Oh, no, the pleasure's mine. This has been really great and very different and very unique. You really do a great Satchmo, I must tell you.
Oh, yeah, baby. All right, thank you, everybody. And we'll see you on the next segment of My New York. And keep following me, boys and girls. Follow me, baby. Bye. For me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.